ground to the inside. This is the first time I am praying Salah in Abuja after a long time. I can see this Salah witnessed large turnout of people, despite the fact that most of the people have gone for Hajj. The security arrangement was what impressed me first. As we approached the Eid ground, there were a lot of presence of security, but not to show that people were rowdy or they are trying to cause any security threat to the place. They were going orderly and they appeared in their best in the mood of the Salah. So coming to the theme of the sermon, it was centered actually on the issue of peace. You know, the country is facing some kind of socio-economic challenges, so the Imam centered his theme around that issue.
Peace and unity.
Nigerians should embrace peace. I should also continue to preach tolerance, especially among the religious followers, not only Muslims, among other religious followers. He also went ahead to say, when they are sharing their meal, let them extend it to non-Muslims alike, so that it will be a kind of neighborliness.
Okay, and you also told us in the report that the Minister of FCT was also there. So tell us more about what he said.
As the landlord of Abuja, so he is expected to be there. He was accompanied by many personalities, especially those working in Abuja. You know, Mr. President is already in Daura, praying his Salah there. So he's like the chief host of the entire Abuja people now that the President is in Daura. So the FCT minister's message is along the line of the Imam, re-emphasizing the need for Muslims to continue to live in peace and also tolerate one another, especially the non-Muslims, as they preach by the Imam. That's the main message he emphasized on.
All right, Abdullahi Garba Bereni Kudu, thank you for your input.
Barakah de Salah.
Barakah de Salah.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, Arafat Day, when pilgrims on Hajj gather on Mount Arafat in supplication and prayers to Allah. Abdullahi Yaji reports on Arafat Day and its significance to Muslims, especially as an obligatory part of Hajj rites.
Arafah is a mountain or granite hill east of Mecca, also known as Mount of Mercy. Historically, it is the place where the repentance of Adam was accepted after his fall from heaven. Today, the 9th of Zulhijjah, over 2 million Muslims converge there, following the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad to perform one of the key pillars of Hajj.
Plain of Arafat is so significant because that was where everything was sealed, stamped, sealed, and delivered, meaning that this job has been completed.
Scholars explain the significance of the sermon delivered on this day.
During the course of the sermon the Araf by the Imam, that's why he emphasized on Quranic education. This Quranic education is vital. If we put Quran aside, we are going to be doomed.
The message is universal. If we hold on to the practice of the Prophet ﷺ, we'll now find peace. In a society where there's conflict.
Pilgrims are expected to converge on Mount Arafah from sunrise to sunset and advised to fast. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says he would not rest on his oars until Nigerians see the country of their dream. He made the promise in his Eid al-Kabir message to Nigerians, which he personally signed. The president reassured that his administration is committed to ensuring the security, economic well-being and prosperity of all Nigerians. President Buhari thanked all Nigerians for their prayers and support towards his recovery, which he affirmed has spurred him to work better for the development and growth of the country, to rise against all odds and remain peaceful. Senate President Bukola Saraki has charged the 91,000 Nigerian pilgrims currently performing this year's Hajj to leverage on the significance of Arafat Day to pray for the quick recovery of the nation's economy and good health for President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Senate President, Yusuf Olanionu, Saraki calls on the pilgrim to pray for the security, peace, unity and development of the country. The Senate President, who is also in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj exercise, advised that the gathering of worshippers from all over the world on the plains of Mount Arafat is an opportunity to intensify prayers to Allah to resolve the country's challenges. With the Salah celebration in the air, the different selling points for ram in Abuja have recorded increased number of buyers. Kolo Mohammed reports that most sellers are seasonal businessmen who venture into the business to make sales.
It is a tradition of Muslims the world over to make sacrifice during the festival of Eid al-Kabir.
It has to do with the first animal sacrifice that took place during the lifetime of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Ibrahim to slaughter his son Ishmael in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Then the two, that is the father and the son, submit to the will of God.
While Sayyidina Ibrahim wanted to slaughter Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah told Jibril alayhi salam, if you let that Ismail be slaughtered, you will be demoted to the lowest of the low. As a result of that, replace him with one of the rams in paradise. Simultaneously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaced Ismail with the ram.
The sacrifice, which coincides with the Hajj rites, lasts for 3 days, beginning from the Eid day. It is usually undertaken by domestic animals such as ram, goat, depending on one's financial capability and order of preference as recommended.
If it is ram, definitely it has to attain 1 year or closer to it. If it is goat, it has to reach complete a year and enter the second. If it is a cow, then that cow must be 2 years old and enter the 3rd year. And of course, somebody has to slaughter healthy animals.
The animal is an important aspect of the Eid al-Kabir.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam slaughtered 2 rams, one for myself and my family, and the other one is for the Ummah to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for the community of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who cannot afford it today, what sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that years, 1,700 years ago, is still good for them. For those who cannot afford it financially, definitely they are already forgiven.
Apparently, the sacrifice is an act of ibadah to invoke Allah's blessings by providing solutions to our problems. Again, come to think about it, as a result of the fulfillment, how we continue to live in peace and harmony. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
The turnout of passengers at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for the Eid al-Kabir celebration was above the usual, despite a slight increase in the airfare. Correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro on Salo Travels reports that while the turnout at the airport was large, there were fewer passengers traveling by road.
Usual hustling and bustling by passengers at the airport is at its peak again, as more and more travelers are making their last-minute effort to get to their destinations for the Eid al-Kabir festival.
The traffic situation has actually improved, and from our statistics, I know we have been actually carrying so much in the past 2-3 days.
I notice also the volume of passengers here, even though everything is orderly. So I give credit also to the airport authorities for making everything orderly, the security check.
Flight is right on schedule, so we're just about to get on the coach to join the flight. So that's not very usual, especially for times like this.
The fare is high. They are paying as much as 40,000, it's high.
While air travel recorded a large turnout, drivers at the Utako Motor Park are complaining of low patronage.
Passenger, no passenger. All the time we are on day here, since around 9:30.
The whole passenger, they only come for message to carry food, give the people that cannot travel by road. There's many accidents. Local job, they say blocked yesterday, they cannot even reach where they are going.
To ensure that the festive period is free from road traffic accident, the Federal Road Safety Corps has deployed 33,000 personnel 859 petrol vehicles, 106 ambulances, 200 mobile calls, and many more to ease movement of goods and passengers.
I want to advise that the motoring public, especially passengers, should not be passive. They should be active, because you have every right to stop that driver before he kills you.
Passengers traveling by road are expected to enjoy their travels with measures put in place by the Corps. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
And talking security during the Eid-el-Kabir festival, the Nigerian Police Force has deployed patrol vehicles and joint police team comprising 250 personnel to Abuja-Jere-Kaduna Expressway to stamp out kidnapping, armed robbery and other criminal acts along the road. Ronke Kolawole reports that the Deputy Inspector General of Police Operations, Habila Joshak, who flagged off the operation, challenged the officers on the objective of the exercise, which is to make the road safe day and night.
Abuja-Jere-Kaduna Road can be described as lonely, situated on a rocky zone, narrow and uncompleted, while some portions are dominated by speed breakers, which perhaps explains the reason the criminals perpetrate their evil acts without fear. The team has a specific mandate to replicate the successes recorded along Abuja-Kaduna Expressway under the Operation Absolute Sanity, which has made the Abuja-Kaduna Road a no-go area for kidnappers and armed robbers. DIG Operations Habila Joshak was precise in his directive.
With these units of the Mobile Police Force, the Counter-Terrorism Unit, and the Force Intelligence Unit of the Nigerian Police, I expect that we'll have 100% from today. I do not intend to see any criminal mosquito that will fly over this road.
DIG Joshak said all the black spots for crime in the area will be identified through intelligence and cracked. He assured the officers of adequate welfare, urging them to maintain discipline and guide against human rights abuses. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
The trappings in the country home cannot be found elsewhere as President Buhari takes a trip to Dara to have the best of the Eid-el-Kabir offerings. Details after this timeout. Do stay with us.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people,
President Muhammadu Buhari is in Daura, his country home in Katsina State, ahead of the Eid-ul-Kabir celebration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports on the ecstasy that greeted the homecoming of the Nigerian leader.
This is the first time President Muhammadu Buhari is visiting his birthplace of Daura, not only since returning from medical vacation in London, but in almost 12 months. During the period, various insinuations were made in some quarters regarding his health status and possible survival. For the people of the ancient kingdom of Daura, led by the Emir Umar Faruk Umar, the president's homecoming was therefore not only momentous but fulfilling. It was indeed an opportunity to thank God for his mercies and further demonstrate their solidarity and support to the Nigerian leader, in whom they are well pleased. The highly elated President Buhari trekked for about 400 meters from Daura helipad to his residence, acknowledging cheers from the anxious well-wishers.
This is much expected because this is home to the president, and there is a sense among the ordinary folk, everyone around here, that they own him. So his homecoming today is inspiring, is triumphal, and for many of the people here, you know, there is a sense that the worst is over, and the president has got all of that behind him, and he's now back, ready to move the country forward.
President Muhammadu Buhari was earlier received on arrival at Katsina International Airport by Governor Aminu Bello Masari, the Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, and other personalities from all walks of life. From Daura in Katsina State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Nigeria has continued to receive allies around the world. The latest is the British government, who stands shoulder to shoulder with the government in partnership on the economy, security and humanity. This was part of the discussion between Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the UK delegation. Jide Unifade has details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo told the delegation, led by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs Secretary Boris Johnson, that Nigeria remains investors' delight as the Buhari administration continues its drives to promote private sector partnership and ready to provide the necessary assistance to private investors looking to invest in the country. Nigeria, Vice President Osinbajo said, had no choice but to diversify from oil, and more attention is focused on agriculture, adding that government is also interested in construction companies with the expertise and technical know-how to deliver mass housing projects across the country. The UK's Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs, Mr. Boris Johnson, said that the UK is working to build an economic partnership with Nigeria, given the country's status as the biggest economy in the continent.
We discussed some of the contributions that the UK can make on the military front, on the humanitarian side, on the development aid side, which Priti Patel represents, and also, of course, on building up that trade and commercial relationship between the UK and Nigeria.
But actually the economic diversification, the development that is required here in Nigeria. So the meetings today with all ministers have very much focused on the future, the strength of the relationship, but the future growth for Nigeria and inclusive growth, which means all areas in Nigeria, and how we in Britain can support, a growing economy.
Present at the meeting were Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and that of Budget and National Planning, Utoma Udo-Utoma.
Three priority areas of this government, security, governance, anti-corruption, and the economy, job creation. And so their visit keys right into that, and we've had long-standing partnership with the United Kingdom.
We're very happy to note their commitment to continue to work with Nigeria, and in particular, we're very happy to note that some of the businesses and investors might be interested in investing in Nigeria.
The delegation was Paul Oakright, British High Commissioner to Nigeria, and other top officials. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Nigeria's Super Eagles had their last training session Thursday evening ahead of the showdown against Indomitable Lions of Cameroon Friday. John Paul Alumuna brings more on the expectations from the match.